Our MECS scheme's been running for just under 4 years, quite successfully. Commissioners are very happy with it. Our practitioners are very happy with it, and patients seem to be very happy with it. It's very much based on core competence work, so you don't need to be having independent prescribing qualifications or anything like that to be part of it. The entry is based on ROPEC qualifications. We do have some further continuing education needs within it, but otherwise it's fairly simple.
I think it gives the opportunity to develop a lot more in eye conditions that you wouldn't see so much. With sight testing, you've got a set battery of tests that you do, and it kind of becomes a routine that you're doing the same thing every patient. You kind of can do it in your sleep. This gives you a chance to think out of the box sometimes. You'll do different tests, the order that you do things in is different, the range of patients that you see is very different as well. I mean, we get babies coming in, referred by the GP, and then patients who have, years of experience in terms of sight testing, so this is quite different for them. Also, you get a little bit more time talking to a patient as well, which is very good because you can actually convey information which is helpful to them. They'll understand what they're being managed for and actually manage themselves better for it as well. So that extra time to communicate with the patient is great.
For the first few years of qualification, it felt very much like I'm doing a test to sell a pair of spectacles. And that's not necessarily something I became an optometrist for. Yes, I knew it was part of it, but I wanted to manage eye problems as well. MECS allows us to do that and be rewarded for it financially from the NHS without having to charge the patient. So it's much more an incentive to do that, and it allows us to manage different things. It breaks up the day, it just makes it a little bit more interesting for us. It also allows us to give our patients a better service.
Previously, without the scheme, if you wanted to see a patient, you'd need to do a full eye examination for them. With certain conditions, it's not the easiest thing to do either, and part of it would not be as relevant, really. If somebody's got something stuck right in the middle of their eye, you're refracting them, they're not going to get a stable refraction anyways. This gives us flexibility to do the relevant tests for that time, manage the patient as they need it, and then they can come back at a later date if they need anything extra done in terms of sight tests, things like that, which is explained to them in advance that it's separate from what they're being seen for today. And most of them are happy to actually be seen for what they're complaining of as opposed to a whole battery of tests.
Patients are very happy with it, first of all, which is always great. So we had a really good feedback from patients. I'm very happy with it. I think it really helps our patients, and it helps my optometrists and me manage our patients in a much better way. So it's a very good scheme. From ophthalmologists' point of view, we've got really good feedback from ophthalmologists who have been really integral in helping us set the scheme up and supporting us. So they're very happy with it in terms of onward referral rates with brilliant. And GPs are very happy with it because it's bringing their referrals under control a little bit. So everyone's happy, so which is great.
We usually have pretty busy diary, partly MECS that have been booked in advance due to the referral scheme in the area. We usually leave at least one gap in the diary for walk-ins, which generally we do get. We've got surgeries very close by, so we usually get at least one calling in on the day. It's busy days, I mean, we can get 3 or 4 actually calling in. It just depends on the season with, red eyes coming up during winter with coughs and colds, things like that.
What the reception staff will do is kind of go through a little bit of triaging. So if a patient needs dilation, they'll probably know and ask the patient to come in a bit early, and we can check pressures, check Van Herrick, and pop the drops in fairly quickly before that, and then see my next patient and see the patient after that.
I would say that if you're a bit weary about looking into it, you're only going to develop yourself by doing the scheme. I mean, there's always support in terms of what to do. Local optical councils will help in terms of if there's cases that you're not sure about. There's always places to go for help. It does give you a good chance to develop yourself in terms of eye health conditions, which is half of what we do. It's not just refraction. I mean, we've been trained to do all eye health stuff, so I think it's worth progressing in that field.
For the practice, it's raised our profile with GPs in the community. It's brilliant for the practice. As part of MECS, you're not actively adding patients to your list. That's not what it's about. But it builds your practice reputation. A smaller practice, it's going to be brilliant for. For a very established practice, it just adds to the service you can offer your patients. So I don't see why anybody would not want to do it. Professionally, it's been great for us because, first of all, you see a lot more of what you don't always normally see. So if you're a run-of-the-mill refracting practice who sells glasses, you won't always see lots of different stuff that walks into your day. It just breaks up your day, makes it more interesting. So yeah, I'm from a practice point of view, I'm professionally brilliant, really happy with it.